Well, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a copycat tutorial. I am doing the milk box bag, and I will leave in the description below where I found this pattern. The gal speaks Spanish, so I had to translate the best I could to make the size of the bag that I'm believing she's making. So if you speak Spanish, go check her out and see if the measurements are different. But I got a few mistakes in this one, but it still turned out awesome. I've made 3 of them so far. So these are kind of for a little gal, but you could also take this along with some toiletries with you if you were going on a trip, or, you know, if you like little bags. But so do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and share my content. Let other people check me out too and see if they like me. But let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, the supplies you need to make this bag, the milk box bag I think it's called, for this copycat tutorial, would be 1 bottom piece if you're using vinyl. If you're not using vinyl and you use fabric, you'll need to cut out an inner facing. I'm using SF101, but you would need to put that on the back if you're using fabric. But 1 vinyl piece that I'm using is 13.5 long by 9.5 wide. 1 piece of vinyl. Fabric would be 1 piece of fabric and 1 piece of interfacing. Optional would be a name tag, name plate, handmade something. That's optional. The top piece, you would cut out 2 pieces, and it would be 13.5 long by 4.5 wide. You would need 1 zipper, 14 inches, and you need a zipper pull. For the handle, I believe they did 15, but I made one and I thought the handles were too short. So I did my handles 17 inches long. And you could just use webbing, but I kind of like to make mine fancy, so I'm putting vinyl as like a peekaboo and fabric. But you could just use webbing, and I would do at least 17 inches long. You need 2 interfacing. I'm using 101, and I'm cutting them the same height, maybe just a little shorter than my fabric to keep it out of the seam. You need 1 piece of lining, and I cut mine out at 13.5 by 14 inches. So let's get started. My first thing, I'm going to go iron my fusible interfacing onto my top pieces. Okay, so I got to prepare my handles because that's the first thing we sew. So I take my little manila envelope that I made my seam guides, and I put it on the side. I fold it up. I'm using 3/8. I cut my handle out at 2.5 inches. And I'm going to give this a press. Turn it over. This bag could be made in an hour. My granddaughter loves it. I made her one, and I made her friend one, so when she goes on her play date, she can have one to give to her friend. Alright, so now the way I'm going to do my handle, and you don't have to do your handle this way, you just use webbing, but I'm going to put this in the middle. I'm going to go get some double-sided tape, put that down, then I'm going to fold my ends over so you can see part of the glitter, and I'm just going to top stitch once I get that folded down. So let's go over to the cutting table, or the sewing and table, and we'll get this glued down, and I'll show you how to finish it. Now you want to make sure the glue side is up, so that's the rough side, and the smooth side down. You don't want this to touch your iron, but you really want to get that glue to adhere to the back of this. And then I like to turn it over and give it another good press. And you want to make sure it's not lifting up. And I have a little extra, so I just trim it. Okay, let's get to sewing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put double-sided tape down so I can hold my vinyl strip down. So I just run that down the center. Oh, it's sticky. Sticky, sticky. Then I put my vinyl piece in the center. Give it a press. Something sticky in there. Then I fold it over, the fabric over again. Now I'm going to go sew down both sides, top stitch. Let's go to the machine. And I'm just going to sew on either side about 1/8 of an inch to the edge here. Okay, I've got my handles done, and these are the first things we sew on. So we take the 13.5 inch side and we want to mark the centers on both sides. Okay, get a marking tool, and you want to go 2 inches from the center and give that a mark. And do that on both sides. Then I want this pretty part of my handle showing, so I lay my handles down like this. So I'm going to take that mark and I am going to set my handle down there, and I am going on the outside of the mark. So I'm putting my handle on the outward side of the mark. And then we're going to sew this down. Now we're going to grab our top pieces and we are going to mark the center of them as well. And if this is directional fabric, then you want to make sure that when you put the right sides together, you want to make sure you're putting it upside down, so when you pull it up, the top will be showing. So we're going to mark. We're going to get them center pieces lined up. And we're going to sew this 1/4 inch. Up, and I'm out of bobbin thread. Wonderful. Well, let's wind a bobbin. All right, bobbin is fixed. So let's do the other side, 1/4 inch stitch. Okay, so now we put them up, press them up, and we're going to top stitch them 1/8 inch on each side. So let's do a top stitch. And my thread is shredding. Let's see what's going on here. You know, I made 2 of these bags without any problem, but I wasn't recording. Now that I record, the machine is camera shy. Yeah, it looks okay. All right, so now we take our handles And I'm going to take and I'm going to mark them up 1 inch because I'm going to sew a square. So mark 1 inch up. You can go up higher if you want, but I find 1 inch does fine for me. I'm going to add the nameplate, and I'm going to line up the center right here and give that a mark. And that is the center. Make sure of it. Yes. Get my little cutting mat here, put that under here. And this goes, all right, outside. So that's the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put 2 holes in here. Make sure it's not upside down. Press it in. And then I always like to put tape on it. And if it was a bag I would be carrying, I would put some interface, some thick interface back there. But there you have it. Now onto the zipper. Now what you're going to do with your zipper, you're going to separate your zipper. You are going to lay your zipper right side down, and you want the zipper teeth to be facing the bottom of your bag, so when it pops up, it'll be on the right side. So I'm going to change my zipper foot out, and I am going to get this sewed on. And I will come back once I get my zipper foot on. I'll do one side and then go to the next. All right, put the other side of the zipper on, and then we put the lining on, and we're almost done. Get it up under there, and away we go. Oh, shake and rattle and roll here. So then after this, the zipper or the lining goes on, and then we square up the 4 corners. Okay, what's going on? Once again, it's only when I'm online that are filming that my machine messes up. Otherwise, it won't mess up. that to be wrinkly. I gave you the wrong measurements for the lining. I forgot to add one of the tops. So it is going to be 13 and a half wide by 17 and a half long. Get it up there. And do the same thing over on this side. Move the handle out of the way. Line up the centerpiece marking. And so, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to switch out my presser foot and back to the normal one, and then we will top stitch this and get done here. So I'll be back after I get my presser foot changed out. Alright, the presser foot's changed out, so now we're going to turn this right side out like this. And we are going to top stitch the zipper. So we just pull it up like this, give it a little press, finger press, and top stitch. And here we go. On the other side. Now we do the fun part and try to add the zipper pull. Nope, that didn't catch very well. Clean up some of the stitching. And here's my zipper pull. And I believe it goes this side to close it. Nope. This side opens. If I put it, it's going to close going this way. Yep, I think it this way. So we'll see. I'm using a size 3 zipper only because I want to get rid of that. Otherwise, you can use a number 5. Get rid of some of these whiskers. Let's see if I can get it to go here. Come on, come on. Ah, thought I had it. Thought I had it. Try this again. I really don't like these zipper pulls. I don't know where I got them, but just as soon as I get them going, the pull part goes cockeyed. Come on, come on. There we go. All right, we got that on, so now we got to turn it back, wrong side out. Now, if you was using just fabric, this would be much easier to do. Let's open that up a little bit. See how that zipper pull just gets cockeyed there? All right, almost got it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you want to, and we probably could have done this at the beginning, but you want to get your centers on both sides. And give it a clip. Then you want to get that center, line it up with your zipper. We can trim that a little bit. Line it up with the middle of your zipper and clip. Give her a clip. And we're going to sew this at 1/4 inch. And let's make sure I got that lined up. I think so. All right. Make sure you back stitch on this part. All right, here we go. I should have done this side. Oh, I forgot to put my stitch back. So I got to redo this. That's too loose. Okay. Okay, here's what you have so far. All right, now you measure 2 inches on all 4 sides. And you want to mark your 2-inch mark. So here we go. Let's do that all the way around, and we're going to cut them. All right, now we are going to add a bias binding to the sides here. Okay, so I have a 1.5 inch strip I pressed in half. So I'm just going to, well, let me cut some of this right here. So I'm just going to lay it there, sew 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to fold it over, fold it in on itself, and flip it over so I can catch it into the seam. Now we'll need 4 more of them strips cut, 1.5 inches. So now I'm going to square up my corners, and I'm going to pull this toward the back away from the zipper. And then this seam right here, I'm going to try to match it up to this seam right there. Kind of like you want them to snuggle up like you would if you were quilting. And I cannot ever get my corners to match up perfectly, but seems to come out okay anyway. And then I just bend it out of the way and I sew. I could peek in to see if it the seams matched up, but at this point, not much you can do about it if they don't. So I take this seam and try to match it up to this seam, button them together. Kind of like I was quilting. Now, where I got this pattern from, I believe the lady speaks in Spanish. So I did the guessing on all the dimensions, and it didn't turn out bad, but if you understand Spanish and you go check out the website I provide, it could be that I don't have the right dimensions. Well, let's just go. All right, now we do it to the same thing over here. So I'll get this other corner done, and I will come back and put on the bias binding so our lining will be all enclosed. There won't be any seams. Keep them straps out of the way. Okay, I'm going to get these two sewed down and I will be back. Okay, I put the binding on all the other sides and I just thought I'd show you one. I always leave them long because I don't know what size I need. So, and I use scrap. So on these ones, I fold over like that. And I start, here I am. I start right here in the corner and I sew this on 1/4 inch here. Move everything out of the way and get right to the corner there so you can cover up those raw seams. And don't forget to go forward and back stitch, and then just sew along until you get right down to the bottom of it. And then I always get my scissors and I say, about right there. I can fold that in. And don't forget to go back and forth. I cut all my little whiskers off the best I can because there is so many threads. Then I flip it over like this and I take this. I like to cut my corners in a little bit like that because then they don't stick out as much. So, but fold it like this, fold it over, and give it a little fold before you fold it back over on itself. And I hope you can see me with my hands in the way, but I don't know. But you know how to put bias binding on, or bias tape. So get it back under that machine and sew her down. And we are done. We will be done with our bag. Now, wasn't that quick? Give it a forward and back stitch so it doesn't come out. And we are done. We are done. Just turning it right side out. And let's see how this one turned out on me. Because, you know, my first two turned out real nice. Well, I had mistakes on the first one. My second one came out perfect. Now let's see how the third one turns out. So here we go. Let's go over the table and turn our bag right side out. Okay, so all the seams are fine together. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. Give it a good punch. Now, mine's a little harder because I'm using vinyl. And I know I've already made one mistake. I didn't want my handles facing this way. And I thought I had it down pat, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Press them corners, or not press, but push them out with your finger. And I have my seams facing the side here. So these seams are facing inward. And here we go with some leftover fabric from my sewing machine covers, which I don't have all the way done, but that's okay. I'm going to get them done. Let me grab some snips and, oh, that thread did come up. Never mind. So, here it is. Whoa, don't you just love that? So, I just need to clip some threads and it's done. See my handles? I wanted my handles to be out like this. But, of course, I put them on wrong. So, my copycat tutorial. Well, there you have it, the milk box bag. I hope you liked my copycat tutorial this week. And if you did, do me a favor, give me that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and please share my content with others. So that does help my channel grow. So has anyone told you you're special today? If not, let me be the first, because you are in God's eyes. So go make one of these. And if you do make one, post it on my Facebook page so we can all see it. This is a great little bag. I made one already for my granddaughter and her friend. They're going on a play date next Saturday so she can give her friend one. And this one, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. But it doesn't take much fabric at all. You can use your scraps. You don't have to use the vinyl like I did. You can use fabric, but just interface it. And make sure you check out the